Hello there everybody, I'm Sabanai2AK Nightmare, and once again, welcome back to the strangeness that is Chaos Head. So, it's a good thing I saved this over here. We can check it out later. But, I was curious about what the hell was going on with this little moment in the story. And, thankfully, we have somebody who will answer that for us. So, from the commenter, Emiya Yukito. Putting aside all the game's weirdness, one thing I've always found actually odd is how the game never bothers to explain the main gameplay feature, the delusion triggers. In the original version, they just show you a green and red choice at the top left and right corners of the screen, which is even more cryptic. They had the chance to make it clearer in Noah, and they did, but still didn't do enough, I feel. I'm not sure why they didn't add a tutorial, so here I am to make up for that, and that's why I care and like you guys. You have three options whenever a trigger appears. Green to the left is positive delusion. Red to the right is negative delusion. And neither, which is what you did because you didn't choose. So technically there's always, whenever a delusion trigger occurs, apparently there's gonna be there's just three outcomes. Okay. What changes with each one? The game never tells you. And I won't either because it's more fun that way. Appreciate it, Emiya. The only thing to keep in mind is that it's not a binary good-bad option. The red ones are generally more interesting. My recommendation for the first playthrough is to go with whichever you feel like in each scene and keep it balanced for variety. I still haven't played Noah, so I don't know how it works past the first route. Probably best to look up a guide at that point. In the original, it was just one route with a few endings. Damn. Alright. Well, I guess whenever I come back to this moment, we can try out to see what the other delusions are, but for right now, let's just go ahead and continue where we left off. We're still in Chapter 1. So last episode, let's be perfectly honest, I'm just gonna say what, I'm just gonna keep saying it. This novel's weird. I'm just gonna be, the novel is very, very weird. Actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna take a look at something. So, aside from it being exceptionally weird, I'm wondering what the control scheme is for the delusion trigger. Okay, so if I want to do the left, I hit left trigger, right trigger. Okay, I will have to keep that in mind. So, again, this novel is weird in that it'll throw in something that builds up intrigue. That horrific scene of that girl standing over this, what was essentially left of a body being pinned to a wall. There's the intrigue. It's horrific. You want to know what's going on. And then we remember, oh yeah, the main character is quirky? I don't know. It's funny. Another comment string that kind of pulled up, like, realistically, Keyshawn had the exact reaction that I did. So how the fuck did this get past the ESRB? And then Time Access actually kind of expanded on this. Fun fact, it almost didn't. It was initially rejected from Steam, but after enough fan outcry, they managed to get it on there. Wow. Well, on the positive, I'm handling this a lot better than I did Tsubahebe. We're not talking about that. It was coming from a pedestrian bridge that crossed over Meiji Dori. A steady flow of cars passed underneath. But in spite of this, the girl known as FES, Persona 3, showed no sign of being affected by the noise. She simply kept on singing, leaning back against the handrail of the bridge. O servant revealed by the light of the moonlit night. Huh. On any normal day, if she were to sing on the street in public like this, she would surely attract hundreds of onlookers, but right now, nobody was listening to her sing. for FES was deliberately concealing her presence, blending into the stillness of the night.
この場所へつながる幻の道
Connect the phantasmal paths which lead to this place. This way, she could loiter quietly until the moon left the sky behind. By doing so, by becoming one with the darkness, she felt as if she could free herself from the corrupt atmosphere of Shibuya, if only for a moment. That was what FES felt to be true.
叫びはいつしか沈黙に変わって
Little do they know their screams will soon turn to silence. Ugh. That's a tad dark. You know, just a little bit dark, don't you think? Kinda? Slightly? Maybe? Partially? I don't know. Suddenly, FES looked up to the night sky. The clouds covering it were starting to clear up, little by little, leaving space for the moonlight to shine through in their wake. But sadly, any and all starlight was completely drowned out by the dazzling neon of Shibuya.
落ちてゆく安息風に手と手をつないで
And repose shall fall upon us as we link hand in hand within the wind. FES halted her song, then slowly reached her hand out toward the sky.
その目誰の目
That's what my character's been asking. Ah, crap, now we're back here. About a day had passed, and I'd spent pretty much every hour of it in Baselard. I'd hardly even made time to eat. I'd immersed myself fully into the role of Neidhart, and in the process, completely erased every trace of Nishijo Takumi. In ESO, I was an absolute god. No demon could ever strike fear into my heart, and I was respected by everyone. If only I could live in such a comfortable world for all eternity, I was certain I'd be far happier that way. That is certainly one level of escapism.
おおエンジェルハイロ来たこれ超レアすげえ
Okay. Sure, we'll just, right. This is such a weird thing. This is so bizarre. But I can't say I'm really complaining. Again, I keep getting these glimpses into what the hell this game is, but I think it's literally just a background, a neat little HUD that we got going on here, and just this 3D model that's, there's no front to it either. It's just literally just the back, which actually makes no sense for a 3D model, but they probably just didn't do anything on the front. Although now I'm looking at it, how much experience is that? How much money is that? Damn. Got some facts stacked. Good job, dude. Oh.
これは早速使わないと装備
I was like wondering what the hell was taking it so long, and then I just... Okay, sure. Didn't really get a chance to read that. Backlog, please. Neidhart, Angelic Circlet for the... Oh, he was typing again. Of course.
おおキャラの見た目変わったすげえこれすげえ見て見ろってグリム
Is somebody knocking on your door?
Huh? ナイトハルト自重しろ。うっせえ、死ね
Scissor
よ、待って
Centipede.
くれ。
Chill out, Nightheart. Chill out, Nightheart. Chill out, Nightheart. My main what?
ちょっと街に戻って見せびらかしてこようかな。
Dude.
お兄
Big bro? Finally, another legendary item to add to my collection. Naturally, I was stoked. My depression from earlier had been completely blown away.
お兄ってば
Do you hear me in there? The angelic circlet had a drop rate of 0.0001%. It was so rare some players thought it was unobtainable.
おーい開け
Well, its stats were shit, so it was pretty much just a cosmetic item, but that was good enough. People could tell you had an angelic circlet just by looking at you, which was enough to make anyone green with envy.
ろお兄
やった。ナイトハルトがまた一歩神に近づいた。
Oh boy, so now we get to meet your sister, don't we?
こら開け
Oh, shut up! Who the hell's been banging on my door for so goddamn long? Just when I'd finally managed to get a hold of a rare item, this happened. Couldn't a man enjoy his victories for 1 second?
ろバカ鬼
That voice. The moment I realized who it was, my mood instantly took a nosedive. There was no mistaking it. That was the voice of an assassin sent by my parents. My little sister, Nanami. What a pain in the ass.
開けないとひどいんだからね
Well, technically you would be absolutely correct that he is very mean. Now that we got a better look at it, I can see the names of some of your other files. I see you literally have a file called miku.jpg. Is that Hatsune Miku or some shit like that? Sound data, sound data, sound data. Epic finds. Oh, dear Lord. Well, shit. Here came the storm to rain on my parade. I really didn't want to let her in, but if I didn't, my parents would probably get on my case about it. Stop living alone and move back in with us, they'd say. I'd ignore them if I could, but my dad basically owned this building, so it'd take just a snap of his fingers for him to kick me out. This is the worst.
お兄
Shut the fuck up! I swear her voice is so shrill it could shatter glass. I don't know, I've heard worse. One of my favorite characters from another novel, her laugh just sounds like she's trying to start up a car. The banging just didn't stop. And since the metal walls were pretty thin, the sound echoed loudly all throughout the container. Nanami was well aware of that. In fact, that was exactly why she was doing it. In the end, I had no choice. I reluctantly moved the padlock and opened the door. Alright, let's meet your sister.
あやっと出てきた生存確認
Hello. Routine survival check. This baby-faced runt was my little sister. She was a year younger than me.
呼んでるんだから返事くらいしてよねお兄死んじゃったかもって思ったじゃん
Well, to be fair, I could have been dead. I ran away from some assassin the other night.
What?
Of course, the first thing out of her mouth was bitching. And to make things worse, she was standing there with her hands on her hips like the bratty little shit she was. The spitting image of irritating. Her existence brought me nothing but suffering. Jesus Christ. Are we sure I'm not the bad guy of this novel?
うわ相変わらず部屋の中汚ちょっとは片付けなよ
That's what I'm saying! Nanami just waltzed right on in without even asking. What the hell did she think she was doing? What, did they think she could get away with whatever she wanted just because she was my little sister? And to think there were people out there who seriously believed that little sisters were moe. The sad part is there are probably the people that are like that, and they're kinda strange. I always want to tell those guys how much of an epic fail that was. But then it would be an epic fail because you literally just said epic fail out loud. Which, now that I said it out loud, oh god. Well, even though she was my sister, she certainly didn't look unsavory. She had a lolly body type, so I could see why that might make her pretty damn popular in some circles. But as her older brother, I didn't care about that. I wasn't into her at all. As far as I was concerned, she was downright repulsive, not to mention immature. Not to say I didn't like lollies, of course, she's just only too deep. Moving on!
カビくさお兄の部屋って相変わらず不潔掃除しろっていつも言ってるじゃんどうしてしないの
Well, according to the character that I am, apparently, yeah. Self-hygiene seems to be non-existent for him.
まあどうせ掃除してくれる彼女なんかいないだろうしお兄ってズボラだからこうなるのは目に見えてるけどさ
Well, to be fair, it's not a girlfriend's job to do that. Yeah, you know. If a dude can't take care of himself, what good is he?
こうなったらやっぱりナナが掃除しに来てあげるしかないかな
Oh god, no, don't. You're enabling him. Stop it! Jesus, don't!
だが断る
Why is that a tip? What the hell kind of tip could this possibly be? Hold on. I mean, we already know what for the win and that. A quotation from a popular manga about bizarre adventures. On the internet, it is used frequently as a cool way to turn someone down. Is that a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference? I don't know, I still haven't watched it yet. I still need to do that.
なんでよ
お前に部屋荒らされたくない
きっとそれがわざわざ生存確認しに来てあげてる妹に言うセリフ
Maybe things would change if you showed your older brother a little respect. And why should I be grateful that you're checking on me? I sure as hell didn't ask for that.
まったくなんでこんな面倒ばっかりかけさせる兄弟と血つながってるんだろうたまに嫌になっちゃうよ
Honestly, Nanami, I'm kind of in your I'm actually in your corner. I'm kind of in agreement with you.
なんか喉乾いちゃった飲み物もらうね
Nanami walked right past me and over to the mini fridge, once again acting like she owned the place. Oh. Okay, delusion trigger. Now let me save it, just so I have the image here. All right, so, okay. We've already got a delusion trigger going on right here, so... Green is positive, red is negative. I'm probably gonna go positive? I'm a little bit scared of that, though. Let's see.
コーラしかないじゃんミルクティーとか用意しといてよ
Oh. Did I hit the right button? Hold on. No, that wasn't the left trigger. That was, I think that was left bumper. Let me see.
コーラしかないじゃん。ミルクティーとか用意し
Oh,
といて
there we
よ。
go.
知らんがな。
しょうがないな。じゃあコーラもらうね。
Surprise. Fucking surprise. She went ahead and did as she pleased. There's this thing called permission, you know. She grabbed a bottle of cola from the fridge. One I'd already drank from, no less. And after only a second of hesitation, she cracked it open and gulped it down. Whoa. This novel is just making me uncomfortable. Her soft throat rose and fell seductive. You do not! I will personally wring your neck. Pumping the soda down with an audible gulp, gulp, gulp.
せめてコップ使えよ。
Had she seriously just drunk straight from the bottle? Unless she was a girl? What a disgrace. That's exactly why 3D sucked ass. What? What the hell's wrong with drinking from the... I am having a hard time understanding this dude. I don't get it. As soon as Nanami finished her drink, she went right back to pouting like before. Though was it just me or did it seem like she was blushing a little?
だってナナはお兄と関節キスしたかったんだもん。
And just like that, she dropped a bombshell. She still kept her pouty attitude, but now she was looking straight at me. I was paralyzed. My little sister was on the verge of tears, and all I could do was just stand and stare. Had I just tripped a flag? Like some kind of arrow? I swear to God. Was I on the little sister route?
軽蔑した。
I'm going to say yes just so I can get out of this.
だとしたらナナ悲しくなっちゃうな。
I don't care.
言っとくけどお兄相手じゃなきゃこんなことしないんだからね。
Wait, this is a delusion. This is a delusion. Nanami's voice gradually
お
lowered.
兄のバカ。
This is just a delusion. This is just a delusion. Which means my main character is legitimately a problem. He needs to be locked up. Her voice is a faint murmur as she hung her head in shame. There wasn't a single trace of her typical bratty attitude. This is...
ねえ
No!
コーラしかないじゃん。ミルクティーとか用意しといてよ。
No!
知らんがな。
しょうがないな。じゃあコーラもらうね。
She grabbed a bottle of cola from the fridge, one I had already... Same dialogue. Damn it, who the hell did she think she was, acting like such a goddamn princess? Sure, go ahead. Drink so much cola you destroy your stomach and get sent to the emergency room. Then I can finally relax and spend some time alone. If only that would actually hit. I'm starting to think I don't like this delusion system. I don't think I like this. I really don't like this. Suddenly, Nanami let out a groan, and as soon as she did, she dropped the bottle of soda, splashing cola everywhere. It spilled all over the manga magazines and CDs I'd left down there. Don't mess up my room, I was about to say, but then I realized what was happening. Nanami's eyes had shot wide open and her hands were pressed against her neck. She looked like she was in immense pain. Her mouth repeatedly flapped open and closed like a carp.
Nanami.
She was vomiting blood, red blood actually. It was closer to dark brown. Splashed onto the floor, mixing with the spilled I don't think I like this delusion system. Oh shit! And then she lost her strength and collapsed. Her entire body convulsed as she writhed in agony. She clawed at her own neck with her fingernails. Her legs spasmed as she thrashed around on the floor. She didn't seem to care at all if this was causing her skirt to flip open, exposing her. Why are you focusing on that? This might seem a little in poor taste, but when I saw the way she was acting, I thought she looked like just like a fish on a chopping board. I didn't know what to do, so I just covered my ear. You suck as a brother! You legitimately suck! But that didn't help. I could still hear my sister's dying screams. Before long, her face was completely covered in drool, blood, and tears, and her body finally stopped trembling.
Nanami.
What the hell? What the hell is with this dude? I reluctantly tried calling out to her, but there was no response. She was just lying there in a pretty compromising... Why are you focusing on that? In a pretty compromising position. The smell of ammonia hit my nose. Had she pissed herself, or had I? Gently, ever so gently, I poked her shoulder. She didn't move a muscle. Although I was a little scared, I gathered the courage to bring my ear near her lips. She wasn't breathing. She was dead. Nanami was dead. It was like she'd been poisoned. The kind of thing you'd see all the time on TV. And that was when it hit me. I must have poisoned my own cola to kill Nanami. I was sure of it.
なぜ殺した？
Obviously, it had just been another one of my delusions, but it still made me sick to my stomach. Both of them made me sick to my stomach! Jesus! That whole thing had definitely been a bit much. Okay, this delusion trigger is really fucking... Okay, now I can kind of see why this had difficulty getting past the ESRB. Jesus. I'm legitimately having a hard time going through. I mean, I'm still going to try to go through this novel, but my goodness. One shot. Oh, sure. Nanami could be really annoying, but that delusion had been way too graphic. I should have just left her at 1 HP, not fucking one-shotted her. Okay, all jokes aside, we're just taking away the jokes here. This dude, the guy that we're playing as, he legit sounds like he has an actual mental problem. Graphic delusions that just hit him? Like that? I mean, there's intrusive thoughts. Like, don't get me wrong, I have those random ass intrusive thoughts where sometimes I'm just driving on the road and then my brain will be like, what if I turned really fast and hit this tree? Like, intrusive thoughts like that. Sure, that shit kind of happens. Everybody's got intrusive thoughts. Especially that one time I was eating an apple and then I had this horrifying thought where what would happen if, like, the apple exploded in my hand. But that is... I'm just... I don't know. These aren't intrusive thoughts that he's having. This sounds like the dude has a legitimate mental problem. He's antisocial from the sounds of it, from everything. Well, I'm sorry, maybe not antisocial. That's probably not the best way to phrase that. I'm not a clinical psychologist, so I can't really diagnose things, but it legitimately feels like this dude needs to see a psychologist or a therapist. Granted, he will not accept the help, therefore the help won't actually happen because he's not taking an actual step to see if he's got a problem or stuff like that, but the dude, I think he needs to see a fucking doctor or something.
どうしたの?
After finishing her cola, Nanami shot me a confused look.
なんか顔色悪いけど?
You talking about my character or me? I just shook my head a little.
ごめん。
何が?
とにかくごめん。
Okay, good. You needed to say that. Even if it was just a delusion, I treated you horribly. I'm sorry. But that's only because I can't stand your bratty attitude. I hate it so much that I took it out on you inside my head. Would it kill you to understand that? Okay, you almost had it, and then you fumbled it. Good job.
別に謝らなくてもいいのに。ミルクティーがないくらいでナナ怒んないよ。それになんだかんだ言ってコーラも好きだし。
Wait, did she just drink all my cola? I take back my apology. Nanami doesn't deserve it at all. I hope she gets her stomach torn open and bleeds out.
もう帰れよ。
You did your whole survival check thing, and now your job here is done, right? Why do you feel the need to barge in here every time?
お兄、冷たい。
Seems like I'd managed to offend her somehow. She pursed her lips into a pout and glared at me. I was already done with her shit though, so I looked away.
せっかく心配して様子を見に来てあげてるのに。お兄ってずっとここに引きこもって誰とも喋らずに一日を終えちゃうことだってあるんでしょ？女の子と話す機会だってどうせ全くないんだよね。
Shut up! Stop making fun of me, you stupid bitch. I'm not into 3D girls, so why would I ever bother talking to them?
言ってみればお兄と話す女の子はナナだけってことじゃん。
That's sad.
だからさ、もっとナナのこと大事にしてよ。そしたら女の子との接し方もちょっとは分かってくるはずだし。
While she was nagging, Nanami picked up one of my figures, Hikaru-tan, from the Suicide for Hikari, and started staring at it. Damn it, don't touch my waifu without asking. If you leave even a single fingerprint on her, I'll actually beat the shit out of you.
あと、お兄は自分のことにもっと気を使って。こんなお人形さんにうつつを抜かしてる場合じゃないよ。ナナはお兄の死体の第一発見者になんかなりたくないからね。
You probably will, though. What the hell was she trying to imply? It felt like she'd been becoming more and more like Mom lately. Which meant that she'd gotten even more fucking annoying! Shut the fuck up!
いいから帰れよ。
It's funny, in your head, you are this belligerent bastard, but IRL, you can't even back up the words that are going on in your head.
そんなに帰れ帰れ言わないでよ。お兄のバカ。 まだこっちには用事が残ってるの。
Ugh, she was getting more hysterical by the minute. If I made her any angrier, things would get out of hand, so chill out, me.
携帯買いに行こう。
Wait a minute, are you implying I don't have a cell phone?
は
What did she just said?
お父さんがそうしろって。お兄が携帯持てばいつでも生存確認できるじゃん。お金はナナが預かってきたから今から買いに行こうよ。今時携帯持ってない人なんていないよ。時代に取り残されちゃうよ。
Oh my god, my character doesn't have a cell phone? Well, to be fair, I didn't have a cell phone until I was like... I want to say I was like 16, 17 before I got my first cell phone. And that was back in the day when there were the little flip phones. And every time you wanted to send a message, you had to tap the numbers a certain number of times just to get the letters. Like, you know, just... Because, like, 1 is ABC, 2 is DEF, stuff like that. Oh, shut up already, you teenage trend-chasing bitch. I'm not the one who lives under a rock here, you wrong-sider. The internet gives me all the information I need. Well, she was right about one thing. These days, it was normal for a high school student to have a phone. And I didn't have one. Of course, that was because I'd never use it anyway. I didn't have anyone to call or text, and I didn't want to pay for something I wasn't going to use.
だから行こう。
Nanami put the figure back on the shelf and turned her attention back to me.
どうせお兄は機種とかわかんないだろうからナナと同じ機種にしちゃいなよ。
Yeah, probably. As she said that, she took her own phone out of her bag and started showing it off like it was some precious heirloom.
ほら、これがナナの。色が可愛いでしょ。
That's a familiar looking frog.
ついでだからストラップも同じのあげるよ。
Okay, so now I can see what the date is. It's, according to the time, it's 4:23 p.m. And it's, let's see, it's the 30th. Okay, it's a Tuesday, and it's September 30th. Fuck, why was I struggling to say that? Ah!
なんという電気キャラ。
There's nothing wrong with a simple design. The character hanging from the phone strap was far from cute. It looked horrible. There's no way a professional had designed it. Slowly looks over to this visual novel. Yeah. It looked like one of those shit-tier, ugly cute characters, or like one of those official government mascots.
手抜きじゃないもん。ゲロカイルンはこういうデザインなの。今すっごく流行ってるんだからね。はあ、女子高生の流行なんてお兄が知ってるわけないか。そういうとこを直せば少しは女子と会話成立すると思うよ、きっと。
Prob's not. God damn it! Just shut the fuck up already, you Trent. Can you stop saying that about your sister? Oh my god! Fuck is this Gyro Froggy shit? There's no way this thing is popular. Anyone with half a brain could tell you that. I don't know, comments think this frog looks popular enough to be a good mascot? She didn't realize she was just being played by the media. It was honestly sad.
っていうか、今はゲロカイルンの話じゃなくて。いいから携帯買いに行こうよ。あ、別にお揃いがいいとか言ってるわけじゃないからね。家族で同じ機種だと基本料金が割引されるサービスがあるからだよ。
Is that a thing?
家族で持ってないのはお兄だけなんだからね。
いらない。
Well, you're getting one! So shut it!
なんで？お金はお父さんが出してくれるんだよ。
必要ない。
It would be a nuisance if anything. If I had a phone, Mom would definitely call every day. And if I kept ignoring those calls, I'd just keep sending Little Miss Assassin Nanami over here to lay on the pressure. family life would become even more of a living hell, and I'd have to start being way more careful as a result. I couldn't let that happen.
もう信じらんないよこのバカ鬼。もう帰る。
ああ、そうしてくれ。
No, drag him out with you. I opened the door for her to finally leave, but Nanami didn't budge an inch. She just shot her arms down to her sides, looking even more upset than before.
ほんとバカ。アホバカ鬼。駅まで送ってくれるとかしてよ。
嫌だね。
She's your... Oh my god! She'd never acted like this before. Why did she suddenly want me to walk her to the station? What's so special about today?
だって最近殺人事件とかで物騒じゃんか。こういう場合心配するのが兄弟ってもんでしょ。
Yesterday's events were resurrected in my mind once again, if only for a second. I frantically shook my head, trying to get that gruesome scene out of my mind, and I just barely managed to.
どうでもいいし。
Dude, you saw something traumatic. I get it. I understand that. But your sister is wandering around by herself. Despite my own fears, if I witnessed something like that, I would still try my best to make sure my family members, even if I didn't get along with them all that much, were safe with the potential of a killer wandering around. Either way, it wasn't like the new gen murderer was twisted enough to attack some brat like Nanami. If they're twisted enough to attack anybody, they're oh.
ありえない。ナナが死んでもいいって言うんだ。
Nanami was tearing up. It seemed like my words had really gotten to her. So... Holy shit. Serves you right. Maybe you should think twice about disturbing my peace and quiet next time. It's just my own way of taking a little revenge for once. Get fucked.
バカ、死んじゃえ。お兄なんか猟奇的に殺されちゃえ。
Don't worry, Nanami. I'll make sure he does. After spitting those parting words at me, Nanami pushed past me and ran away as fast as she could. Seemed like the storm had finally passed. The room grew peaceful and quiet once again. This is how things should always be around here. My own perfect little world where stupid bullshit wasn't allowed. I'm complaining about this guy a lot early on, but this is still early parts of the novel, right? I am hoping, really hoping, we finally get this one moment in the novel where something legitimately serious happens to him and he is forced to grow up. I'm hoping that happens, because when it does, I'm going to gloat. So that's why I'm going to keep taking the piss out of him in this early parts, because of the potential theory that at one point he's finally going to grow the hell up and mature. So we shall see. I sat down in front of my PC, shaking my mouse a little to clear the Saberton screensaver. Oh, so that's what that was on the screen. Okay. I tried to take a sip of the cola bottle on my desk, but it was empty.
しまった。これ、ナナミがさっき飲んだやつだ。
Oh, God, I just had an indirect kiss with my little sister. I'm gonna puke. Maybe if she was a little more charming, it would have been the kind of eroge-like situation I could I just said that out loud. I can't believe I read that. I was not... Okay. But with that horrible personality, no chance of anything, it only make you worthless. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to take this novel seriously, but oh my God. Oh my Lord. I put the cap back on the bottle, then threw it in the big garbage bag in the corner of my room. But it didn't go in the bag. It said bouncing off the wall and rolling under my bed. Well, whatever. Anyway, time to dive straight back into ESO. I just want to forget about the annoying real world ASAP. But it wouldn't last long. Just one day later, my immersion would be broken once again. My mental state had been on the up and up lately, but the moment I stepped outside, it all came crashing down. Ah, damn it, why'd I have to go to school today? It was so early.
なんで今日なんだよ、最低最悪だ。
But it wasn't like I could just take the day off. If I did, my minimum attendance chart would get all thrown off, and then I wouldn't be able to graduate.
卒業って、何を卒業するって言うんだよ。
I mean, that I can kind of understand. Like, what's the point? Like, what am I graduating from? A place where my mental health took a nosedive, where it was difficult for me to make friends, I lacked social... I had a severe misunderstanding of social cues, had a hard time understanding people, and then I didn't know anything about the real world, so whenever I graduated out of high school, I was thrown into yet another school building that didn't teach me important life lessons or anything like that at all. And now I'm still recovering from that. You know, normal stuff. I was the one insisting on going through with it, but I still couldn't help but complain. As I approached the wealthy district of Matsunami, I finally realized I'd been feeling a gaze for a while now. But this wasn't the usual God's gaze. I didn't feel any shivers on the back of my neck. As I turned the corner, I took a quick, tiny glance behind me, and I caught a glimpse of a girl wearing a Sumai uniform. I think that was your sister. No way. Was it the demon from yesterday? No, I didn't see any pink, so... I instantly lost my composure. An extreme amount of tension overtook my body, and my walking became stilted. A moment ago, it was a quiet morning like any other, but now, it felt like the entire world was out to get me. I could faintly hear the sound of birds chirping atop the phone lines, and I could also hear music from the morning news playing in nearby homes. In a peaceful scene like this, where crime would seem totally out of place, I came close to imagining myself getting brutally murdered. Okay. I needed to calm down. It wasn't like I'd clearly seen her face or anything, and there was nothing strange about seeing Sumai students walking behind me. We were headed for the same destination after all. I would be fine. Even though school was straight ahead, I decided to take a hard right. I was worried about what could be behind me, but I desperately suppressed the urge to turn around. I needed to keep my cool and act natural. My heart was pounding, but I kept walking. I continued for about a minute or so until I decided I couldn't take it anymore. I slowly turned around. You're not my sister. We made eye contact for a second, but I panicked and turned back around. Why was she following me? This path was obviously the long way to school. That meant she had to be tailing me. Either way, I'd never seen her before. She definitely wasn't the demon from yesterday, that was for sure. She was wearing glasses and the demon girl hadn't been. That fact alone was enough to calm me down. I decided to just head straight for school. I had to skip my routine breakfast at the park because of it, but oh well.
くそ、女子 A め。
Really? To me, you're just some background character. Pedestrian 1 or Girl A, so stay out of my goddamn way. God damn it. After I entered the school, Girl A disappeared. I'd expected her to continue tailing me, but instead she turned and headed toward the third-year classrooms. Maybe she was never tailing me in the first place. Maybe I was just overthinking it. But still, it was definitely weird that she'd taken the same detour that I had. Did she hate me for some reason? Had I done something to piss her off? I didn't think so. No, I couldn't have. I hardly ever went to school, and when I did, I tried to keep my presence very minimal. I don't know, maybe your sister has a friend that's in a higher grade, and she complained about you to her. Just saying. So then what the hell was she trying to accomplish? Somehow I'd managed to make it through the torture known as school. On my way back, I made my usual stop at Cafe. I took my seat in room 37. The nearby rooms were normally always empty, but surprisingly, that wasn't true today. There was someone in room 36. Their door was closed, but the light from the desk lamp leaked through the cracks. I couldn't help but click my tongue when I entered my room. Having someone sitting nearby posed a bit of a problem. Whenever I did things like chatting online, I had the tendency to talk to myself sometimes. I do that all the time, actually. Sometimes I'll just be sitting by myself and I'll just start talking to myself. What the hell am I doing right now? Well, whatever. Time to just ignore it and log it into ESO already. As long as I make a conscious effort to stay quiet, it shouldn't really be an issue.
だよこいつら
Irritated, I slammed my hands down on the keyboard. It had only been 2 hours since I started playing, and I was already this close to throwing myself off a cliff. The people I'd partied up with today were total noobs. I've been trying my best to help them, but one of them went all Leroy Jenkins and just died repeatedly. See, that was me. That was probably me. Then the other one was a mage, but he didn't cast any healing spells at all. That definitely wasn't me. Any game I play, if I'm a mage, I always make sure I've got a heal. As a result, we just kept getting full party wiped over and over again. And yet, instead of figuring out why it was happening, all they ever did was continue to piss and moan in the chat. Fuck these shitty players. I finally just lost it. I proceeded to PK both of them, steal all their items, and instantly escape to another area. Oh, player kill. Everything Neidhart couldn't do, Lieselot could without a second thought. This is exactly what I came all the way to Cafe for. Finally feeling a bit better, I breathed a sigh of relief and went to grab a drink. Cafe had a bunch of all-you-can-drink soda fountains in the reception area. And related to that was the only bad thing about room 37. It was kind of far away from the reception area. When I left my room, the door to room 36 was open. Naturally, in order to make my way to the front, I had to go past it. I casually took a peek inside as I walked past, but there was nobody in there. Come to think of it, I had heard someone get up a moment ago. And although there was no one there, I saw a bag on the ground next to the reclining chair. It looked like a school bag, and there were a few toys strapped hanging from it. They were gyro froggies, like the one Nanami had shown me yesterday. There was 3 of them in total. I guess they really were popular. Wait, that music, hold on. I don't know what that song is, but it sounds good. Well, whatever. It wasn't like I cared either way. Besides, if the person came back and caught me staring, they might have taken me for a pervert or a thief. You are one of those. Realizing that, I decided to just go get my drink. However, right as I went to leave, my eye caught a glimpse of the text on their monitor and I froze. Is it what I think it is? All things new gen. And if that wasn't enough, it was written in the most sickening font, as if it was trying to freak me out. New gen. I'd been deliberately avoiding any and all info about those cases. I really didn't want to know anything more about them, and as long as I kept avoiding them, I could keep telling myself that they had nothing to do with me. No, forget about that. More importantly, the customer next door to me was looking at a site lining out everything about the new gen. Was it just a coincidence, or did it mean something? For a moment, the face of the demon girl flashed through my mind, sending goosebumps across my entire body. I shook my head violently, trying to force those horrible thoughts away. I was just overthinking it. Yeah, I had to be. Nobody was out to get me. I was just being paranoid. New Gen was pretty much all the media talked about lately. By this point, anyone would be interested in it. That's all it was. Yep, no doubt about it. Anyway, I should just go get my drink already and get back to business. You're gonna run into the girl, aren't you? I quickly placed my cup under the dispenser and pressed the cola button. Delicious, ice-cold cola started pouring out. It was getting dark outside, which meant this place was going to get really crowded soon. There are already a few customers standing up by the front desk waiting to be shown to their rooms, and the darker it got, the more people would show up. In about an hour or so, all the rooms surrounding room 37 would fill up. Once that happened, it'd be time for me to head home. I took my cup and headed back toward my seat. On the way, I casually glanced down the hall toward the bathrooms. That's when... I got a better look at you. You're being watched. I saw a girl's figure disappear into the corridor. She had been wearing a Sumai uniform and had glasses on her face. I recognized her. It was the same girl that had been tailing me this morning. Girl A. I thought I might have been mistaken, so I hid behind some bookshelves and looked toward that corridor for a while, but she never showed up again. It must have just been my imagination. Yeah, it had to have been. I'd only seen her for like half a second after all. This place was typically swarming with Sumai girls, and plenty of them wore glasses. But what if it had been Girl A? If she was here, what would that mean? Was it just a coincidence, or had she followed me? I was starting to get a little scared. I left the cafe and started rushing back to my base. In the end, my anxiety had been too much to handle, and I'd left almost immediately after I saw the girl. I wanted to get home as soon as possible, but the crowded sidewalks were slowing me down. I was feeling sicker and sicker by the minute. I hated crowds. I always felt like people were watching me and snickering. A red pedestrian signal stopped me in my tracks. As I waited for the light to change again, I couldn't help but take a quick look around. I didn't see Girl A anywhere. As soon as I reached the top of Dogenzaka, walking got a lot easier. Usually I would take the least crowded way back, but after what had happened 2 nights ago, I figured I should stick to the main streets, just to be safe. I was stuck at a red light again, so I took another look behind me, but Girl A was still nowhere to be found. The girl I'd seen at Cafe might have been a different person after all. Feeling a bit relieved, I let my tense shoulders relax a little, then turned back around. Oh no. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Last time a delusion trigger occurred, it was immensely horrific or degenerate. So once again, I'm left with 3 choices. No delusion, or I pick a delusion, whether it's positive or negative. If I pick negative, we're going to have a delusion where she probably kills me. If I choose positive, stalker? Or I fucking don't know anymore, honestly. Please be normal. Shocked, I took a step back. On the other side of the crosswalk, standing among the crowd, waiting for the light to change, was the girl. And to make matters worse, the gaze beyond those glasses was clearly pointed straight at me. She didn't even try to look away. Her eyes were so intense, it felt as if they were urging me to do something. The pedestrian signal turned green. Girl A and the rest of the crowd started walking forward. She was coming my way. I couldn't move. I was absolutely petrified. Okay, now we get a good look at you, though. You look angry. Okay. Good look, though. She didn't look away from me, not even for a second. She just kept drawing closer and closer, until she stopped right in front of me. My instincts were telling me to run, yet for some reason I couldn't move an inch. It felt like my consciousness had left my body. The girl reached her hand into her jacket, aiming for one of her inner pockets. Her motion seemed deliberate, as if she wanted me to see what she was doing. Was she going for a knife? A pistol? A stun gun? Maybe I just watched too much TV, but I had a bad feeling that I just couldn't shake.
これ
Girlie began to whisper something. The gaze deep beneath her glasses was unflinching. She had been staring straight into my eyes for what felt like an eternity. Behold, she pulls out a note.
落としましたよ
Huh? She held out something to me. A student ID.
さっきのネットカフェで拾いました追いつくことができてよかった
Oh! I took the ID without much thought. The second I opened it, I saw my own name and photo. The ID was mine.
西条匠くんって言うんですね
Her expression, which had been stone cold until just a second ago, was now beginning to relax a little.
すいません勝手に中身を見ちゃって私も同じ学校なんですよろしく
Oh. Well, that was anticlimactic. Guess my paranoia had been screwing with me after all, huh?
ところで西条くんは付き合ってる人いますか
Ah, there it is. Started off normal. There's the delusion. Okay, I see. So that's how the delusion triggers work. We either give in to his perversion on the left, or his I need to see a psychologist thoughts to the right.
いません
本当ですかじゃあよかったら私と
I literally don't even know your name. A flag! Time for my new life as a normie to finally begin. The fucking normie? People who find happiness and fulfillment in the real world. Markers of a normie include having lots of friends, having a girlfriend or boyfriend, participating in club and or school activities, going to parties, etc. Well, I guess I only meet like half of that criteria. So, what would that make me? I'm not a full normie. Half normie? I suddenly snapped out of it. The pedestrian signal, which I had thought had turned green, was still red, and Girl A, who should have been right in front of me, was now back on the other side of the street. Had that all been just a delusion? Now it's green. This time, the pedestrian signal actually turned green. All the pedestrians started crossing at once. I couldn't move, and Girl A didn't move either. She just stood there, staring me down from a distance. We were the only ones standing still, as if time had frozen for just the two of us. Why was the girl in glasses not crossing the street? Why was she just standing there? It was strange. Really, really strange. I needed to stay away from her. I should just run. I'll just run straight home. Run! Whipping my weak, withering heart into shape, I broke into a sprint. I ran back down Dogenzaka, trying to put as much distance between me and Girl A as I could. On the way, I turned to enter a back alley. And right as I did, I crashed into something and toppled over. Pain shot through my entire body. I groaned, not fully understanding what had just happened. The pain was so bad I could hardly stand. Oh. Looking up, I saw a big motor scooter lying on the ground. That must have been what I run into. I gritted my teeth and tried to force myself to my feet. But my legs just weren't able to hold me up. Well, it didn't seem like I'd broken any bones, at least.
大丈夫ですか?
Oh dear. Oh, it's her again! Before I knew it, Girl A was right in front of me. She was peering into my face, eyes full of concern. Oh, she's got green eyes. I just now noticed that. What the hell was up with this girl? My body wouldn't move. As pathetic as it sounds, I was scared shitless. I had no idea what to do. My plan had been to catch a train ride to Shinsen and get home that way, but now I was starting to regret my life choices.
怪我してませんか?
Girl A asked me timidly. Was she acting all worried so I would drop my guard? You won't fool me! I won't fall for your tricks, you 3D witch! I can't say this shit seriously out loud.
なんなんだよ。
え?
ついてくるなよ。僕に何の用だ。
Panicking, I lashed out at Girl A, who just stood there in surprise. I tried scuttling backward to make some distance, but I was still flat on my ass. If I didn't get away from her, she'd reach into her jacket, pull out a knife, and jump me. That was my thought process anyway. I'm pretty sure that was your thought process if I went with the negative delusion. That gruesome scene flashed through my mind over and over. All I could think was, that's how I'll end up. Look what you did. You upset her. She was concerned about you. What the hell, man? The girl hung her head, looking a little hurt.
あなたが急に走り出して様子を見に来たら倒れてたので心配で。でも今は用事とかあるわけじゃないんですが、
She didn't want anything from me? What? That didn't make any sense.
じゃあなんで付きまとってくるんだ。
Let me guess. It's the actual student ID?
それは
She was getting flustered. I just couldn't get over how suspicious she was acting.
私、楠ゆあって言います。
Kusunoki Yua. Nobody asked her to, but she suddenly started introducing herself. Anyway.
実はあなたのこと一目見てなんとなく存在が気になって。
Oh, okay.
それでつい。
Instinctively? Okay. What? She just instinctively started stalking me? The girl, whose name was Yua, apparently, kept lowering her gaze as she talked.
ごめんなさい。
She bowed her head vigorously. Oh, there's no way. That was the only thing on my mind. Taking another look at her, this Yua girl was pretty cute. I had to give her that much, at least. But that was exactly why I couldn't trust her. A 3D girl who wanted to interact with me with good intentions? What kind of eroge was this? My whole life, nobody had ever said anything like that to me. There was no way I could take her confession seriously. This is way too out of left field. It's almost like I'm in a visual novel or something. Wait a minute. Wait. Did she think I'd be jumping for joy or something? Did she forget she's been stalking me until just now? Well, I mean, sure, that kind of thing might work in the 2D world, but IRL, it was a certified boner killer. Oh, my lord. Oh, God. Oh, no.
僕は 三次元に興味はないよ。
What the hell are you talking about?
あ、いや、め、め、め、
I always stutter when I tried to say something harsh. But I had to be clear. Don't follow me anymore. I don't like it.
迷惑だよ。つきまとわないでよ。
すいません。
She sure looked disheartened. Maybe she'd actually meant it. No, don't fall for it. You can't trust anything about 3D women. You can only trust 2D. You can trust Sayretan far more than this harlot. Jesus Christ, it's like you're a... Oh god, what the fuck was his name from Danganronpa? The ultimate manga maker, or... Actually, wait, his English translation is ultimate fanfic writer. Oh my god, why can't I remember his name? But you guys know who I'm talking about. That's something that he would say.
ついてこないでね。僕帰るから。
As I mumbled incoherently, I tried as hard as I could to stand up, but I struggled. My body was still hurting all over the place. My collarbone in particular was being a real bitch. The pain was making me feel kind of dizzy. I must have hit my head when I'd fallen down earlier. I almost fell over again, but Yua caught my hand and stopped me.
怪我してるんですね。手貸します。
I tried really hard not to make eye contact. I could feel my face turning bright red. She'd definitely make fun of me if she noticed, so I turned away and forcefully shook her hand off. My mind was a total blank. I'd hardly, if ever, touched a female before. Except family members, of course. My heart was beating out of my chest. Oh, you touch-starved poor bastard.
お家まで送ります。あなたが怪我したのは私がつきまとっちゃったせいですから。だから送らせてください。
I felt really happy when Yua asked me that. I wasn't really used to being treated kindly by others. Every other 3D woman I had interacted with before was utterly vile, but this girl? I was actually starting to warm up to her a little bit. But I didn't have the courage to look her straight in the eye. I mean, she had been stalking me, and she might have also been related to the demon girl, and I didn't want to die. All sorts of thoughts flew through my head, but I couldn't focus on any single one of them. My mind was a total blur.
お家どこですか？
深セン。
深セン？
I nodded before instantly regretting it. Why the hell had I told her that? Was I expecting something to happen if I did? This had to be one of my delusions. Maybe karma had put me on a lucky streak, just so it could come to beat me down later. You saw the cliche all the time in anime. This must have been some sort of death flag. And we all know, everybody knows what a death flag is. A metafiction term. When a character triggers a death flag, they have said or done something that foreshadows their death. A common way to trigger a death flag is to make a promise on the eve of a climactic battle. For example, when this war's over, I'm gonna get married. After the battle, they're both dead. Actually, no, he or she is dead. Nobody wins! Oh god, 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 oh god. Before I knew it, Yua was trying her best to prop me up with her shoulders. Her soft body was tightly pressed against mine. I could smell a sweet scent coming from her long hair. This couldn't be real. There was no way a 3D girl was being this nice to me.
歩けますか？
I nodded in response.
じゃあ行きましょう。
Yua. Her voice almost sounded nervous. Then with my head pointed down at the ground, I slowly started to walk. She'd done so much for me at this point, I couldn't turn her down or shake her off anymore. I was out of options. I just had to let her do as she pleased. Leaning on her delicate shoulder for support, the two of us got moving. Neither of us said a word until we reached the building where my base was located. After all, there was no way I could hold a half-decent conversation with a girl, let alone one I didn't know. I knew that the second I'd bring up anime or video games, she'd automatically go, ew, what a freak, just like every other 3D girl. She wouldn't even bother listening or trying to understand. My dude, you have a severe misunderstanding about how women are. You do realize there are girls that actually like those sorts of things? Do you not realize that? From my point of view, there was just no point in talking to bitches like that. Oh my god.
ここでもういいから。
That grumble was about all I could muster, and I looked at Yua to make sure she understood it. She gave me a gentle nod in response, then removed her arm from under me. I was still a little unstable, but I managed to stay upright.
やっぱりお部屋までついていきましょうか。
I completely ignored her suggestion and walked toward the lobby. Well, I say lobby, but it was really just a narrow entryway to the elevator hall. Still, the moment I lifted my foot to start climbing the small staircase leading up to it, a sharp pain ran through me, and I nearly fell over again.
大丈夫ですか?
Damn, that tumble you took must have really fucked with you. Well, then again, I once sneezed really hard and threw out my back, but Yua rushed over to support me. Damn it, why was she still here?
やっぱり部屋まで送ります。絶対送りますから。
She sounded almost desperate. I hated to admit it, but Yua had been a huge help. And in the end, she had taken me all the way back to my base. To get there, first we had to go all the way up to the 8th floor, then take a steep flight of emergency stairs up to the roof. In my current state, there was no way I could have ever possibly managed that alone. Yua wasn't strong in any sense of the word. She was very clearly running on fumes, and yet she had helped me up the stairs as if her life depended on it.
こんなところに住んでるんですね。
Yeah, yeah. Yua was left speechless when she saw my container house. No surprise there. Normal people probably would never believe someone could live in a container.
なんか憧れます。
Okay.
アウトローな感じがしていいですよね。こういうのって。
To be fair, you're kind of right. It kind of rebels against the norm of what you would consider standard living. Oh my god, only just now I just noticed you have a washer and dryer up here. And a little kitchen sink. I only just now noticed that. Wow, I'm dumb. I never thought she'd say something like that. Was she just trying to flatter me or something? You won't fool me, wench. I will never fall for their 3D girls' tricks. With Yua still propping me up, we walked up to the container door, removed the padlock, and stepped inside. Oh no. You're not gonna like what you're gonna see, girl. It's bad. When I was finally back... I was finally back. Today was another total catastrophe. This is why you really couldn't beat staying indoors.
真っ暗ですね。電気のスイッチはどこに？
Did she really not have any shame just coming into my room like this? I mean, to be fair, she had brought me all the way here on her shoulder. But I really didn't want her seeing the rest of the room if I could help it. I mean, I had dozens upon dozens of figures lined up on my shelves, piles of eroge boxes on my bed, and trash all over the floor.
もういいから。話して。
After I said that, I waited for Yua to let go of me, but she didn't budge.
床すごく散らかって、じゃなくて、歩きにくいと思うんですけど、絶対危ないです。
That's his own damn fault.
ソファーまで行きましょう。そこで話しますから。
In the end, I just kept on doing whatever she said. The couch was covered in CDs and magazines, but Yua quickly cleared them out of the way, as quickly as she could while still holding me up anyway. As soon as she was finished, I sat right down. Man, she's just so sweet and caring. Oh, wait, what am I saying? I'm not gonna fall for it! I'm not!
平気ですか?
The two of us were all alone in the room. It was almost pitch black, save for the tiny bit of moonlight shining through the open doorway. As a result, I couldn't tell what sort of expression Yua had on her face. On the bright side, though, hearing a girl breathing in the dark was pretty hot. What? How? I legitimately don't get it. Come to think of it, it was the first time anyone aside from my little sister had ever seen my room, which meant it was the first time I'd had an actual girl up here. Don't you dare have a delusion. You do not have a delusion right now. I will end the video if you do. If this were a game, then I would have tripped some sort of flag. After that, soon enough, the mood would turn romantic, and before we knew it, we'd be all over each other. That said, I wasn't expecting anything like that. Reality was complete and utter shit. It was nothing like the 2D world. And besides, this Yua girl wasn't normal. She was a stalker. So, yeah. Wait, why was she still here? How long was she planning on staying? Her job here was done, so shouldn't she be leaving now? That was when it hit me. No. Wait, no. Was her plan to get me alone in an isolated spot? Then do something horrible to me?
明かりのスイッチは
パソコンの
パソコン?
The only light source in the room was the desk lamp by my PC. I wanted to tell her to turn that lamp on, but I just couldn't get the words out.
そうか、あのデスクライトですね。
Yua carefully made her way over to my computer desk, avoiding all the garbage by her feet, then turned on the lamp. And then there was light. The darkness had put all sorts of embarrassing ideas and delusions in my head, and now that I could see Yua's face clearly, all those fantasies made it hard to look her in the eye without getting even more embarrassed than I already was. Panicked, I couldn't get any words out, so I just kept my head down. Yep, and now it's time for the reaction, where... Oh my god. Is that the limited edition Saratan figure? What? She'd shouted so suddenly that goosebumps shot across my skin. Her gaze was pointed straight at the Saratan figure next to my monitor, who was striking her favorite sexy pose. Oh my god, I swear to god, if she has... boy. If she's a fan of...
プラチューのセイラちゃんですよね。
Oh my god.
知ってるの?
She's a fan, isn't she?
はい。プラチューは大好きで毎週見てます。
I fucking knew it.
セイラちゃんがお好きなんですね。私もヒロインの中では彼女が一番好きなんですよ。衣装も可愛いですし。
Oh my god. Her voice was full of joy. She was clearly speaking genuinely. There was no way she was trying to trick me. Who'd have thought? Could Yua be a...
不女子
Okay, now I've seen that term thrown around, but I never really did look it up. What does that mean? Term for female otaku with a particular interest in yaoi, or works of fiction that depict homosexual relationships between men. It does not apply to female otaku as a whole. Okay, so that's what that means. Huh. It's gonna take me some time getting... Okay. Okay.
うん。
Well, maybe she just liked anime.
あれ、フィギュアって言うんですよね。ちょっと見せてもらってもいいですか？あ、すみません。ずうずうしいこと言っちゃって。もう帰った方がいいですよね。
She bowed repeatedly, clearly flustered.
見ていいよ。
I bet you're regretting you don't have a cell phone because now you can't get her number. Well, I couldn't say I didn't enjoy her laying the praise on my waifu, so I might as well be a little nice to her.
本当ですか？ありがとうございます。
Yua took Seira in her hand and started inspecting her closely.
それは山陽堂版の覚醒前バージョンなんだ。セーラフィギュアはいくつか種類が出てるけど、最初に出たやつ。
へえ。
あんまりクオリティは高くないよ。顔とか微妙に崩れてるし、ポーズも平凡すぎてあんまりエロくないし。
And you just say that out loud.
でも服の胸元部分をキャストオフできるのは今のところそれだけなんだ。
Cast off? A specification that allows for A specification that allows for nudity or semi-nudity in figures by designing certain parts, such as clothing, to be easily removable. This specification originated in 2006 and has only gotten more and more popular since. It started in 2006? That early? Damn.
胸元？
ちなみに僕はセーラフィギュアは4種類全部揃えてるよ。そっちの棚に制服バージョンとメイドバージョン、あと水着バージョンがある。
Oh my god, now you're nerding out.
そんなに種類がすごいですね。
一番評価が高いのはメイドバージョンなんだけど、個人的には水着バージョンも悪くないよ。
そうなんですか。見てみたいですね。でもちょっと暗くて。
もうすぐアルファから待望の覚醒後バージョンが出るんだけど、これはかなりクオリティ高そうなんだ。
Oh no. Discover some. Oh my god. Okay, partially I sort of relate to like somebody with a hyperfixation discovering somebody that shows a slight interest in it, or at least a sort of interest in it, and then you immediately start gushing about your hyperfixation. It usually backfires in my case because sometimes I feel like I'm coming off a little too strong with some of my hyperfixations. And then there are other cases, it's not often, but there's somebody that can match your energy in terms for that hyperfixation, or they're able to be patient with it.
キャストオフも胸元だけじゃなくてほぼ全身可能だっていうし、表情もポーズも質感も言うことなしだね。あとはカラーさえバッチリなら今年発売されたフィギュアの中でも MVP 候補だよ。
アルファ？
メーカーだよ、フィギュアの。
ああ、なるほど。
Suddenly realizing what I'd done, I clamped my mouth shut. I'd been rambling on for way too long. I'd gone off on a tangent about goddamn anime girl figures. Removable pieces, sexy poses? Oh, I bet I look like a total idiot to Yua. I wanted to know what sort of face she was making, but I couldn't bring myself to look at her. Either way, though, it was obvious. She must have thought I was total human trash. I started panicking. My heart was beating out of my chest. I tried to avert my gaze as far away as I could. But that's when she called out to me, and I reflexively turned back to look at her. Her expression, it wasn't actually full of horror and disgust like I'd expected.
さっき言っていた戦闘バージョンとかメイドバージョンも見せてもらっていいですか？
うん。そっちの棚に。
I was totally baffled. There wasn't a hint of anything on her face other than a wide, bright smile.
わあ、すごいですね。こんなにたくさん。
In fact, her eyes were sparkling as she looked at my shelves full of figures. No way. Were there actually 3D women that weren't disgusted by this stuff? Yes. There are. Do you know how many people are in the world, my dude? It must have been a 1 in a billion chance, but I suppose there were billions of people in the world. That's literally what I just said!
あ、メイドセイラちゃんってこれですね。ふむふむ。アニメの印象とはちょっと違うけど、すごく可愛いです。下着までちゃんと作り込んであるんだ。こういうの実物で見たのは初めてですけど、い いいですね。私も買ってみようかな。
だったら覚醒後バージョンを予約した方がいいよ。あれは絶対おすすめだから。
そうですね。あなたの話を聞いていたら、その覚醒後バージョンは本気で欲しくなりました。
Huh.
覚醒後って12話のあのシーンのことですよね。
Oh my god, she is a nerd.
よく知ってますな、お主。かなりのマニアですな。
はい、好きですから。特にあの時の覚醒シーンは毎日録画したものを見返してます。
あのシーンって演出と作画宮地なんだ。だからクオリティ高くて当然。
Hmm.
宮地？
そういう神クリエイターがいるんだ。あの人の演出はマジで神だよ。アットちゃんの実況版でも神来たってなるし。
Fair enough. We're kind of like that with some animators, like, oh god, what's Naotoshi Shida for like Dragon Ball and stuff like that, or Dragon Ball Super. Sorry.
そうなんですか。
I think I got his name right.
すごく知識が豊富なんですね。私、スタッフが誰かなんてまるで気にしてませんでした。
監督と演出と脚本はチェックしとくといいよ。特に新作なんかはそれを調べるだけで内容の良し悪しが大体予測できるし。
Kinda yes, I mean that's kind of right, kind of wrong, sort of, but yeah.
わかりました。今度からそうしてみますね。
As Yua said that, she turned to face me with another lovely smile. I made a girl smile. I never thought I'd see this kind of eroji stuff happen IRL, let alone to me. Usually 3D women, including my little sister, only ever smiled when they were making fun of me. There had to be some kind of catch. There was just no other explanation. I couldn't forget what Sayoritan told me. Till then, you can't trust anyone. Don't listen to anything that anyone says.
こんなこと聞いていいかどうかわからないんですけど。
何？
Yua got all shy out of nowhere. She was looking down, avoiding eye contact.
聞かせてもらってもいいでしょうか。あなたのお名前。
Oh.
名前？
Now that she'd mentioned it, Yua had introduced herself to me, but I'd never returned the favor.
西條匠。
I was a little embarrassed, so I ended up weakly mumbling it out.
西條匠くんですね。何年生？
あ、2年。
私は3年。私の方が年上さんですね。
Alright, I promised. Alright. As soon as the delusion triggers, we are done. Okay. Also because I've kind of been going at this for a while. Okay. So, we finally experienced a couple of delusions. Got to meet Takumi's sister, Nanami, and now we got to meet a new girl named Yua, who shares similar interests with our main character. I don't know how long I've been recording at this point, but that seems like a good place for me to stop right now. We'll pick this up later. I realize this is literally interrupting in the midst of a conversation, and some people are probably going to be kind of upset about that, and it might destroy the flow of it, but I told myself if this boy was going to ruin this by having a delusion in the midst of a conversation with somebody with similar interests, I was going to end the episode. And that's what happened. I am a man of my word. I'm still reading this novel, I'm not gonna stop. But this is still very weird. But I'll be damned if I'm not happy that at least we're having some level of human conversation right now. But I'm still kind of strangely weirded out about her saying she instinctively was following us. Or just wanted to talk to us or something. That instinctive part concerns me. But we'll have to wait until next time. So if y'all like this, be sure to let me know. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see all of you guys next time.